Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm so glad you're joining me today in my kitchen, along with Chef Jaime Laurita in his kitchen. And Yes, I miss being in your kitchen, Jaime, and also being in the kitchen of the showroom.
Yeah, you know what, Margaret? It's going to make going back soon all the more better than it ever was. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, same here. And I just thought this would be a special time to gather together by phone and just have a heart-to-heart from the kitchen. I know it's a rough season right now, but we will get through this.
So, Margaret, what you're saying is you want to have a heart-to-heart from the heart of my home, from the heart of your home?
Yes, and to the heart of our foodie friends' homes.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so I know that you have been so busy in your kitchen, and can you highlight some of the dishes that you have been cooking and you have recipes for and great resources?
And I decided what, I was going to be doing, not only for myself, because this is very therapeutic for me and it helps me get through the time, that's for sure. But really what I was going to do with the platform that I have to help people. And when I thought about really what people need in, a community that really survives on restaurants, now going back into their home, not knowing 100% how to cook, I really had to think about the things, and I spent a lot of time thinking about the things that make it easier on the home cook.
Yes, and you are highlighting some very healthy recipes, which I so appreciate. The elixir with ginger and lemon, we need to make sure we put that link. And what did you cook recently as well? Yeah,
so most of it is designed around bits and pieces that I have in the refrigerator. I'm really... people may think I'm using a lot of the similar ingredients. So, for example, I made a vegetable soup. I made a barley and beef stew. I'll make different things like banana bread and elixirs, things that I know people typically make at home, but I'm showing them shortcuts on how to do it easier and how to make it more budget-friendly and family-friendly. And also from a time perspective, I'm teaching people how to use these similar ingredients to make a lot of different things.
Yes, and you even made bread.
Yeah. Yeah, so bread is, that's one of the things in the markets that's sort of hard to find. It's kind of like toilet paper. But it goes fast. And I think in times like this and times like these, bread brings us together. So I was taught how to make bread when I was in culinary school, but recently another Middleby chef, Sharon Sessler, shared her sourdough recipe with me, and I promised her that I would keep making it. And I've been making it every week since. It's just something that I would love to share with people because there's something about this recipe, Margaret, that really makes you feel good. It really... You put yourself into this, and when you're breaking bread and baking bread for your family, both things, there's something that's just so wholesome about that,
yes,
and so old school about that, and so nurturing about that I really want to get that point across.
Yes, and during these challenging times, too, we have to be very vigilant about our produce, our food, our pantry. And I have some general questions about what you can freeze or not freeze or the best way to store things. What do you do with the bananas that are turning brown quickly?
Yeah, so, I love that ingredient because bananas are different and they're beneficial during every stage of their ripening. I think a really black banana is almost like my favorite ingredient, and it's kind of the secret ingredient in some of my dishes. It gets really, really sweet. So most people are under the assumption that when it turns brown, it's bad. It's just ready for something else. So, brown bananas like that are so good incorporated into cakes. And just try this. Get a box cake, Margaret, and throw in a brown banana.
Okay.
Just throw it right into the box cake. See what happens to the box cake. So my point is that, and to answer your question, yes, freezing bananas is something that I do. It makes fantastic ice cream. If you have like a Blendtec blender or a really good blender, you could throw frozen bananas, just frozen bananas, and a little bit of almond milk or even some dairy milk. I know you're a plant-based person, so
yes.
Almond milk, castor milk, these things are the things I would add to that. It makes an incredible ice cream.
Great. And so do you recommend slicing the bananas before you freeze them?
Yeah, I do. Actually, that's what I do. I have a container in my freezer, a glass container with a lid, and I'll slice them before. And if I know I'm going to use them for certain things, I may even stack them up accordingly based on if it's for a smoothie or for a recipe.
Okay. And what about vegetables? Can you freeze the broccoli and
Sure. When you go, that's a great question, Margaret. It really is, and it's something that I think we can really help people with. When you go to the grocery store and you go into the frozen food aisle and you see string beans and they're in a bag and they're frozen, right. Those are par cooked. Those are regular green beans that you would find at the farm that somebody from a company cleaned and blanched and then shocked and then put and froze and flash froze and then put into the system. So to answer your question, let's say it were green beans and let's say it were anything really, even tomatoes. Green beans can be cooked, par cooked. In other words, take your green beans, boil them in some salted water until they're almost like halfway, the halfway point of where you would normally cook them.
Sure.
And then plunge them into some ice water and shock them, and the color, first of all, will blow your mind because they'll be really, really green. And then what you can do is just pat them dry and put them into a freezer Ziploc bag, and there you have green beans that are quick cook green beans that'll taste just like they came from the garden.
Fantastic.
What are you doing at home? And you must be cooking up a storm.
I have been cooking up a storm. So lots of vegan plant-based for me. And then for my husband, lots of chicken and turkey, broccoli, corn on the cob, lots of salad, celery with hummus.
Have you been in the kitchen more probably than you've ever been in your life?
I have been. I know that we have such a great community with our foodie friends, Jaime, that want to help others. And I think it would be fun to highlight in this conversation, as well as some upcoming kitchen chats, about how people can help and get updates from some of the chefs and the different communities of what they're doing.
How proud, of course. And that's a really great point. People like Michael Earhart, who's out there cooking on the Evo Grill, still currently for the homeless. My heart goes out to him. And then there's all our restaurateur friends, Margaret, of course, and that's really my big thing. I'm trying to build an Instagram audience and a social media audience, but always reminding people that they need to support the restaurant.
Yes.
It's like when you think about it, Margaret, every time we go out and celebrate, every time we have an event, a business meeting, again, a wedding, a celebration, an anniversary, whatever, who do you go to? The restaurant, right?
Yes.
It's a social standard that we go and we ask the restaurants to make these occasions special for years and years and years. So there's several different things and several different angles, like why, first and foremost, we need to keep the restaurant industry alive right now.
Very important.
Extremely. To the point where I think we should start a mission to make people understand that there are passionate chefs out there like Mindy Siegel and James DeMarte from Pisolino that are still out there. A lot of them have been kind enough to let most of their staff go in the beginning and then take it out on their own, right? To go in there and try to do this as safely as possible and not put their restaurant crew at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not supporting these people, and this will come to an end, as you say, this too shall pass.
Yes.
Where are we going to be without the restaurants?
It's, the restaurants, Jamie, I feel, the restaurants are the backbone and the heart of each community. No matter where you live, the restaurant community is there. And it's so important to support them during this time, especially with gift certificates even. For those restaurants that might be closed, purchase a gift certificate as a special birthday gift or whatever kind of gift for a friend or family member. And then there's this Takeout Tuesday, which is happening now to encourage taking out a great meal from a restaurant on Tuesdays.
Yeah, there's a couple of really great ideas. I know that a friend of ours, Frank Fontana, is doing this takeout for the block, right? I think it's called Block Party or something, where an entire block will go and order takeout from a single restaurant, and then they'll challenge someone else from another block to do that for another restaurant.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that would be great. We'll have to have him on the show, too, and talk about that. Well, Jamie, I'm just so glad to have a little bit of a kitchen chat today and to share with our listeners, our foodie friends, from our kitchens. And I hope that, and I know that they will go check out your great recipes and resources for cooking and tips in the kitchen.
And Margaret, I just have to say, well, one more thing before we part. It's so important for people to know that they're going to come out of this on the other side.
Yes.
I was downstairs, and your God's trains run on time slogan always is in my head, and it's really important. I was downstairs doing something, and I thought to myself, the universe and God has always delivered for me. And if you can just have faith in knowing that this will become a better thing, this world will become a better place, believe it or not, when this is over. People are celebrating. Have you noticed? And people say hi to each other on the streets now. Yes. It's almost as if social people are getting happy to see you.
Yes.
I just hope that,
That's
so
true.
with that said, I think that if we keep focusing on a better world when this is over, I'm just really hoping that this message that we share with Kitchen Chat is going to the right ears right now, because it's super important to stay in the moment and of goodness.
Yes, and walk in faith and not fear, and just know that anyone who's out there, please reach out to neighbors or someone if you need help. You're not alone. Just always remember that. And thank you, Jamie, for sharing from your heart.
Margaret, it's always a pleasure to have you on, even if Kitchen Chat is, right now from both of our kitchens, it still has the frequency it always has. So I really appreciate you calling me tonight. I'm getting a kick out of hearing all of your kitchen escapades, and I hope that you see what you get, Margaret. You said you wanted to learn how to cook.
And I have. Oh, well, I can't wait to cook again with you soon, Jamie. And thanks so much for your friendship.
You got it.
All right. And dear foodie friends, thank you for joining us. Please continue to follow these conversations and check out Jamie Laurita's Instagram at Chef Jamie Laurita. Or is it just at Jamie Laurita?
It's at Jamie Laurita,
Perfect.
But I like the fact that you added in chef.
Yes, always the chef. And let's just continue connecting, and always remember to take a moment and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info. where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.